Prime Minister to launch Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh Rozgar Abhiyan via video conference today. State to provide employment to migrant labourers after skill mapping. India slams China for violating peace agreements and deploying large number of troops along LAC in Ladakh, says military and diplomatic contacts are continuing. Lightning strikes killed 83 people in Bihar, 24 in Uttar Pradesh in a single day. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Modi condoled the loss of lives. Chief Ministers express condolences to the deceased families. Ex gratia of 4 lakh rupees for next of kin announced. Indian Railways cancels all regular train services not operational at present till August 12th. Those who have booked tickets for the services between July 1st to August 12th will get the full refund, says the Railways. All 230 special trains will continue as scheduled. India's recovery rate improves to over 57% with 2,71,000 recoveries. Active cases cross 1,86,000 with 14,894 fatalities. Global corona cases rise to over 95,83,000 with over 4,88,000 deaths the world over. Liverpool becomes earliest champion of English Premier League with 7 games remaining as Chelsea beat second-placed Manchester City. Australia and New Zealand to host 2023 Women's Football World Cup. FIFA Governing Council approves $1 billion in investment in women's soccer over the next 4 years. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma and our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh Rozgar Abhiyan today to provide employment to migrant labourers after skill mapping. The aim is to provide employment to each and every migrant worker who lost his or her job during the COVID-19 pandemic. The PM had also launched Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan last week.
Coming as a boon for the migrant workers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to launch Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh Rozgar Abhiyan on Friday 26th June. The Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh Rozgar Abhiyan will be launched via video conferencing in the presence of the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Various ministers of UP government will also participate in the virtual launch. Prime Minister will also interact with villagers from 6 districts of Uttar Pradesh. Villagers across all districts of Uttar Pradesh will join this program through the common service centers and Krishi Vigyan Kendras, maintaining the norms of social distancing in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Nearly 30 lakh migrant workers in Uttar Pradesh have returned home because of the pandemic, and over 31 districts have been returned of almost 25,000 migrant workers. Out of these, 5 districts are aspirational districts. Through this package, the government of Uttar Pradesh has envisaged a unique initiative which dovetails programs of Government of India and the state government while creating partnerships with industry and other organizations. This Abhiyan is focused towards providing employment, promote local entrepreneurship and create partnership with industrial associations and other organizations to provide employment opportunities. News Night Desk, DD India.
And Ashutosh joins us with more from Gonda. Ashutosh, a very good morning to you. The Prime Minister will be launching Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh Rozgar Abhiyan today. It's a major boost for employment in the state of Uttar Pradesh for migrant labourers, for returning migrant labourers. What are the kind of preparations? Has there been any outreach program in order to initiate to spread awareness about the Abhiyan that is launched today among migrant labourers there?
बिल्कुल रुकमा, जिस तरीके से उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने जो है प्रवासी श्रमिकों के लिए आज एक बड़ा कार्यक्रम का जो है उद्घाटन करने जा रही है, और जिस तरीके से प्रधानमंत्री इसमें शामिल हो रहे हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार का जो उद्देश्य है वो साफ और सीधा है कि जिस तरह से इस कोरोना महामारी में उत्तर प्रदेश में एक बड़ी आबादी, बड़ी संख्या जो है बाहर के राज्यों में काम करने के लिए जाती है, वहाँ सर उनको वापस उनके गांव तक सुरक्षित पहुंचाना और इस महामारी में उन्हें बचाना, और उसके साथ ही उनको जो है खाद्यान्न के साथ अब रोजगार की बारी आती है। योगी आदित्यनाथ का साफ तौर पर यह मानना है, मुख्यमंत्री का, उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार का, कि ये जो बाहर हमारे श्रमिक काम करते हैं ये उत्तर प्रदेश की पूंजी है। अगर बाहर श्रम करके वहां से पैसा कमा करके उत्तर प्रदेश में भेज सकते हैं तो यह पूंजी जो है इन श्रमिकों को यहीं पर रोका जाए। और इसके लिए जो आज का कार्यक्रम है उस कार्यक्रम में छोटे और लघु उद्योग, साथ में उत्तर प्रदेश में चल रही विभिन्न परियोजनाओं में इन सारे श्रमिकों को जो है रोजगार उपलब्ध करवाना सरकार की प्राथमिकता है। जिस तरह से योगी सरकार और केंद्र सरकार ने अभी पिछले दिनों जो है उद्योगों के लिए सहायता की राशि घोषित की, उन उद्योगों को उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार प्रोत्साहित कर रही है कि आप ऋण लेकर के अपनी उत्पादन क्षमता, अपनी औद्योगिक इकाई को बढ़ाएं और उस इकाई में रोजगार उपलब्ध कराएं, जिससे कि इन प्रवासी मजदूरों को रोजगार मिल सके। योगी सरकार का साफ तौर पर यह मानना है कि अगर इन श्रमिकों को यहाँ पर रोका जाएगा तो जो पूंजी ये बाहर से यहाँ भेजते थे उन उद्यम का विकास होगा, और साथ में जो उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार की एक योजना है एक जिला एक उत्पाद की, वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट वन प्रोडक्ट की, उसको भी मजबूती देने में कहीं न कहीं जो है सरकार सफल होगी। सरकार ने एक डाटाबेस तैयार करने का प्लान किया है, लगभग 36 लाख उन मजदूरों को कि इसकी मैपिंग का काम किया गया है कि उनमें क्या कुशलता है। इसके साथ ही जो मजदूर स्किल्ड नहीं है, जो श्रमिक स्किल्ड नहीं है, उनके लिए किस तरह से काम उपलब्ध कराया जाए, उसके लिए जो है उत्तर प्रदेश में विभिन्न सारी परियोजनाएं चल रही हैं, चाहे वो पूर्वांचल एक्सप्रेस वे हो, चाहे बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेस वे हो। इसके अतिरिक्त जो है मनरेगा की स्कीम है, रुकमा मनरेगा स्कीम में बड़े पैमाने पर योगी सरकार ने जो है लोगों को रोजगार उपलब्ध कराया और कहीं न कहीं लगभग 1.25 करोड़ रोजगार उपलब्ध कराने की उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार की मंशा है। आज 11 बजे जब प्रधानमंत्री वर्चुअली जो है इस कार्यक्रम का उत्तर प्रदेश आत्मनिर्भर का उद्घाटन करेंगे, उसमें विभिन्न सारी इकाइयों के लिए ऋण मुहैया कराया जाएगा, मजदूरों को रोजगार दिया जाएगा और इसके साथ कई सारी स्कीमों का ऐलान किया जा सकता है। रुकमा।
Right, well, lots in store for people, for migrant laborers in particular in Uttar Pradesh today, as the Prime Minister in a short while from now, in a few hours from now, in fact, Ashutosh will be launching this major abhiyan. Thank you very much for joining us. Moving on, India has slammed China for violating peace agreements and deploying large number of troops along the line of actual control in Ladakh. In a briefing, the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastav reiterated that it has been the Chinese action thus far which has led to increased tension in the region and also to the violent face-off of 15th of June with casualties. The MEA spokesperson also said that after the deadly clash of June 15th, both sides remain deployed in large numbers in the region while military and diplomatic contacts continue.
The Indian side has never undertaken any actions across the LAC and has never attempted to unilaterally change the status quo. However, that has not been reciprocated by the Chinese side, and that from time to time has led to face-offs. The conduct of Chinese forces this year has been in complete disregard of all mutually agreed norms. The deployment of large body of troops and changes in behavior has also been aggravated by unjustified and untenable claims. The recent shift in the Chinese position on the Galwan Valley is one example. The maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas is the basis of our bilateral relationship. It is imperative that the established mechanisms are used by both parties to address the current situation.
Lightning and thunderstorms were witnessed in various parts of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh yesterday. In Bihar, 83 people lost their lives, with Gopalganj district reporting the highest number of casualties. State Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced a 4 lakh rupees ex gratia each for the families of those killed. Nitish Kumar has also appealed to people to remain alert in the state and stay indoors as far as possible during bad weather conditions. He also asked them to follow advisories issued by the Disaster Management Department in this regard. IMD has issued warning of isolated extremely heavy rainfall in Bihar till June 27th. Again, in Uttar Pradesh, 24 people were killed, with the most number of deaths reported from Deoria district. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced 4 lakh rupees ex gratia each for the next of kin. He has also directed officials to provide best healthcare facilities to those injured. The IMD has issued warning of isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall, very likely over East Uttar Pradesh till June 29th. Lightning has also caused widespread damage to homes, belongings of residents and livestock in both the states. President Ramnath Kovind has expressed grief over the loss of lives due to heavy rains and lightning strikes in parts of Bihar and UP. In a tweet, the president said, I quote, "Saddened to learn about the loss of lives in parts of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar due to heavy rains and lightning. The administration is carrying out rescue and relief work. My condolences to the affected families." Prime Minister Modi has also expressed grief over the loss of lives due to heavy rain and lightning strikes in parts of Bihar and UP. In a tweet, the PM said, I have received tragic news about the death of many people due to heavy rain and lightning strikes in some districts of Bihar and UP. The state governments are engaged in relief work. I express condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones in this disaster. On to some other news now. The Indian Railways has cancelled all regular trains till August 12, 2020. In a notification issued yesterday, it said those cancelled include regular timetabled passenger services, including suburban services. All special Rajdhani, mail and express trains, however, will continue to operate. Railways have clearly said that it has only enabled full refund for trains which are not being operated and for which tickets have been booked prior to lockdown and up to April 14th. It stressed that no trains which are presently operational have been cancelled. Also, all 230 special trains will continue to run. As far as the running of more trains is concerned, the Railways is currently monitoring their occupancy position, and all will be informed and bookings will be carried out as and when the decision is taken about them. There is no blanket order ruling out running of more trains till the 12th of August. Indian Railways, in coordination with other ministries and state governments, is geared up to meet the challenge of providing protection to its frontline medical workers and other operational staff persons from the COVID-19 pandemic. It is using all its resources in a coordinated manner to create or upgrade its facilities. Railway workshops have taken up the challenge and manufactured PPE coveralls, sanitizers, masks, cots in-house. Raw material for manufacturing of these items was also procured by the field units. 1,91,000 PPE gowns, 66.4 kiloliters of sanitizer, 7.33 lakh masks or 7,33,000 masks have been manufactured by the Railways till the 24th of June. To further strengthen its preparedness, the Railways, in an order for PPE coverall, N95 masks, hand sanitizer and other items, was centrally placed on HLL Life Care. Ministry of Railways has designated 50 railway hospitals as COVID-dedicated hospitals. Facilities at these hospitals were upgraded through procurement of medical equipment and other items to meet the challenge of the COVID pandemic. 5,231 railway coaches have already been converted to isolation coaches to serve as COVID care centers to augment the capacity of health infrastructure in the country. 960 coaches have so far been placed in service at several locations based on the requests received from the states. Railway operations and maintenance was not affected during the pandemic. Out vendors are also being supported to maintain their supply chain. A central team led by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare Joint Secretary Love Agarwal will visit Gujarat, Maharashtra and Telangana beginning today till the 29th of June. The team will interact with state officials and coordinate with them to strengthen ongoing efforts for management of COVID-19. In a significant ramping of testing facilities across the country, India now has 1,007 diagnostic labs. These include 734 in the government sector and 273 private labs. From limited COVID-19 tests in January 2020, 207,871 tests were conducted in the past 24 hours, taking the cumulative tests to more than 75 lakhs at 75,60,782. During the last 24 hours, a total of 13,012 COVID-19 patients have been cured. Thus, so far, a total of 2,71,696 patients have been cured of COVID-19. The recovery rate is 57.43% amongst COVID patients. Presently, there are 1,86,514 active cases, and all are under active medical supervision. Cases per lakh in India currently stand at 33.39 against the world's 120.21 cases per lakh. Also, the death per lakh in the country is currently amongst the lowest in the world, with 1.06 deaths per lakh against the world average of 6.24 deaths per lakh. And on news from Jammu and Kashmir, one terrorist was gunned down during an encounter in Chiwa Ular village in Jammu and Kashmir's Tral district. Police and security forces are on the job. The operation is underway. And after 4 days, the Kamakhya Devalaya will reopen today after the annual menstruation cycle of goddess Kamakhya ended yesterday evening at 8:16 p.m. However, it will not open its doors for devotees yet due to the coronavirus pandemic, and the temple is closed for pilgrims. Unlike in previous years, it wore a deserted look as Ambubachi rituals commenced this morning. The Ambubachi Mela, the biggest religious congregation of eastern India, which is held at Kamakhya atop Nilachal Hills in Guwahati, was cancelled this year in wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. This year, silence gripped the Devalaya as rituals were performed by temple priests after cleaning of the temple for the regular puja. And let's now take a look at updates regarding COVID-19 from across the world. Over 95,80,000 people have tested positive for COVID-19 globally so far, while over 4,88,000 have lost their lives. The United States continues to remain the worst affected as far as number of confirmed cases, followed by Brazil and Russia. Over 24,16,000 people have tested positive across the US, while over 1,22,000 have died due to COVID-19 so far. Brazil has recorded more than 54,000 deaths and over 12,88,000 confirmed cases, and is trailing behind the United States in both categories, while Russia has reported over 6 lakh confirmed cases. The World Health Organization has said that the COVID-19 pandemic is subsiding in Europe, but is getting worse globally, with the number of infections expected to reach 10 million next week and the number of deaths 500,000, that is 5 lakhs. Speaking via video conference with members of the European Parliament's Health Committee, WHO Chief Tedros said over 9.2 million COVID-19 cases have been reported to the Geneva-based WHO, which has also said it is looking into why meat processing plants around the world are infection hotspots. Germany and Britain have recently been affected, and in many rural parts of the United States, meat packing plants have been the main source of infection. Tedros also warned the international community that the virus is still circulating, adding it was time to be on our guard, not to let it down. And in sports, Liverpool have ended their 30-year-long wait to be crowned Premier League champions. The wait for the top flight title is over, with second-placed Manchester City losing to Chelsea 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. This is Liverpool's 19th top flight title and their first since 1989-90. Liverpool has won 28 of the 31 matches so far. Interestingly, with 7 games remaining, it is the earliest any side has ever won the Premier League title. And Tapas now joins us with more on this story. Tapas, well, a number of firsts for Liverpool, winning the EPL with 7 games remaining, becoming the earliest winner of the English Premier League, and then it comes after a wait of 30 long years. Tell us how it happened.
Absolutely, we were bang on there. So from 1973 to 1990, Liverpool were a dominant force in the Premier League division, in fact, winning 11 times in that particular period. But from then, the 30-year-old wait, the 30-year-old drought was finally came to an end. And this team has the potential to surpass any of the achievement. Remember, Manchester United in 2001, Manchester City's 2017-18 last season's achievement can be surpassed. Both these teams have won the league title with 5 games to spare. This time, Liverpool went one step better. It won the Liverpool the title with 7 games to spare. So, that's one of the most important aspect of this particular team. Remember when 2017-14 they looked close a couple of times, especially 2013-14 as well as last year. But last year the City's amazing fortune made sure that they came up just short of that. But this time, Jurgen Klopp, after his arrival in 2015, has made sure that no more hiccups going to take place, and he came with a pedigree. Remember, he came with a pedigree of leading Borussia Dortmund to win the Bundesliga titles and also the 2013 Champions League final. So he had the pedigree, and he believed in a beautiful game. So
but to be fair, Tapas, Liverpool was playing with some top-notch players and
absolutely bang on there.
Bang on there.
Yeah.
Right.
You are bang on there. In fact, I was coming to that. It is also about not just about the play, but also about how you bring up a team. The way in the transfer market when Jurgen Klopp came, he got the all-important Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane to sign during. Also, Roberto Firmino joined shortly. And these 3 players, remember, these 3 players in the last 3 seasons has scored 211 goals, and that's a massive number of goals. 92 for Salah, 65 for Mane, and 54 for Firmino. So these 3 has actually led from the front. I mean, there is no other team better than Liverpool right now when it comes to the attacking formation. Now, also
exactly, Tapas.
You got amazing goalkeepers, centre back, Virgil van Dijk. So overall, this team has done exceedingly well. 30-year, the drought has finally come to an end for Liverpool.
Yes, Tapas, thank you so much for giving us that information and that an analysis of how it all happened. And that's all we have time for in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Namaskar.